What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? It is time to get bullish. When I tell you it's time to get bullish, it is time to get bullish because we are now witnessing a clear uptrend in what's going on with the Terra Luna Classic charts. That should mean that we're going to get some type of breakout. I'm going to show it to you first. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Okay, so we've broken down from this top over here. It's 61. This is not a huge top, but this is a top. And for the last couple of hours on the total market cap, we've had this downward motion. We were up $50 billion on the day. So it's expected that when the market starts to dip, that we have a dip. But here's where it gets interesting, right? We dipped down to the 50 MA and then immediately got bought back up to the 200 MA. Now, why is that happening? Because they're getting very, very close. Why are they getting very, very close? Because we're about to have a golden cross on the 4 hour right there. So they're very close together, and that usually means very positive movement for the market. To confirm that, let's look at a shorter time frame, which is the 2 hour, and you'll see that about a day and a half ago, we got a golden cross over there, and that led to the move from 59 up to 61, okay? Now, we've broken down below the 50. The question is, will this just be a wick as a test right here, or will we have some more dump? Now, I don't know the answer to that. A test of the 200 is probably most likely. So I would say we might have a little bit more downward momentum for just a short period of time. I'll show you why for just a moment. Ultimately, though, when we start to look at it, we're still incredibly bullish. We're still kind of sitting in this range where you can clearly see that there is an upward trajectory that's playing out on this chart. Now, again, this is the 2 hour. When we look at it on the 1 hour, we saw the golden cross a couple days ago, and we saw that remarkable uptrend again. It looks like we're kind of testing the 200 MA. Now, we didn't quite wick to it. There's a possibility that this all breaks down. The reason that this could all possibly break down, let me show you what's going on with total market cap. With total market cap, we were just a short within the last 4 hours, this market was up $50 billion. Okay, now we're down 5%. So there's a lot of sucking liquidity out of the market taking place right now. That's what these people are. That's what they do. So ultimately, I don't really worry about it. What we're looking at, though, is a clear stair step to the upside. So we're seeing that playing out. We're seeing that happening, and that feels pretty good to see. Now, back to Terra Luna Classic. What does it mean for us? Well, we got this big range that we saw right here in that big dump over the last, again, 2 hours is where this all has been happening, but we're not out of it yet. So we'll see how the day progresses, but now it's time to zoom back out. So we're about to get a golden cross on the 4 hour. We've already seen it on the 1. We've already seen it on the 2. Now we're going to see it start to play out on the 4 hour, which generally should mean that we're going to go into a nice uptrend if we get confirmation. Now, again, we're going to see some downward pressure because this market is pricing us out right now. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes we dip. Sometimes profit gets taken. Sometimes we pretend like there's some kind of news event that's doing something to make us go, oh no. And, again, it's pure manipulation. I hope you guys understand. Investors are going to do, institutions are going to do, the people who invest in projects, they're going to do what they're going to do, and they're going to use the news to make you, retail, fumble your bag. If you don't do that, they don't make a bunch of money, and they're going to do whatever they can to shake you out. I hope you understand that by now, and I hope you're savvy enough to get that. So we're going to get this bullish cross right here, or at least we should get this bullish cross right here. Now, in zooming out to the daily, we're not looking at the same exact sort of play out. What happened here was, look how close we got to that actual breakout. Look how close we got. Let me zoom in just a little bit more so you can see it. Like, look how close we got to a golden cross, and then it absolutely dumped, okay? So if we get it on the 4 hour, then what you'll quickly see, and this is gonna continue right here. This is gonna take a while to correct. So we're gonna see maybe at best the kind of movement that I gave you right there, something like that maybe. But if the price goes up just a tiny bit, guess what? This immediately reverses, and on the daily, we get that golden cross any day now. Okay, so any day now, this could happen and could play out. By the way, this is not a motivator. This is letting you know that there is motivation, okay? So when I use the moving averages, they are simply lagging indicators that tell you what has happened over the course of, on the yellow line, 50 days, and the purple line, 200 days. So these are the average prices for that period of time. But in order for us to flip bullish, we got to get above both of those. In order to get above both of those, we need a breakout. In order to get that breakout, we need money to enter the market. But that's what we're seeing happen. So that's why I'm telling you that you should be bullish. If you have just a tiny bit of patience here, I do think that we're about to see a golden cross. Now, this is where the quote unquote rubber hits the road, I think people say. And that is, how do we get to the 50 on the weekly? And if you look at that, it's right there at 4077. So we've had these pushes to try to get back up into that range, getting stopped at around 7. Now, I think we're due for a breakout. I think that breakout is due, and this is going to be the range right here. This is going to be where the action is, okay? Right across this little sort of area. So if that is the case, then what ends up happening there? And look, let me just kind of lay it out here. So you've got this kind of range right in this spot. Okay, so that's going to be the target for the next move, which is going to be above that line. When it's above that line, guess what? We suddenly start to get very bullish if we break above that. That's kind of where the volume is. That's where you've settled your transaction. This is, it's a range, by the way. It's not just one line here, but you had support right here. You had support right here. You had resistance right here. You had resistance right here. You had resistance a bunch of times right here. You had support right here. You had resistance right here. This is a valid area that we're gonna need to break through. Once we do that, then bullish sentiment is going to take over. Again, it's not because of this, but this is just an indicator that shows you that we are about to have that breakout. That is a good sign right now. What we're looking for, though, is we're looking for that third. And by the way, it could be any number of different attempts to break out right now, but we've had 2 big attempts at a breakout. Both of them failed. We saw the markets dip during those periods of time. But what that means is we are working in concert with the market right now, not perfectly, but when the market goes up, we go up. And what we're starting to see is that reversal with the market go up, even though we're down on the day. Again, we were up $50 billion. We don't know what the U.S. market's going to do. U.S. market might, and by the way, remember the U.S. market is going to be going through something for the next couple of days. A famous politician, advocate, political ally of Donald Trump was shot and killed yesterday. His name was Charlie Kirk, and remember him. He was a good man. I'm not a fan, or I should say, I'm a fan. I'm not a supporter of his belief system. He and I don't see ideologically along the same lines, but I enjoy listening to him because at least he's true, he's passionate, and he's honest. And it's the best thing that you can ask for from anybody. So today, I don't know how the markets are going to react to what's going on here. I don't know how the market's going to react to all of it. It should shrug it off, but it may not, okay? Because he is not a crypto bro, if you will. So this may just get shrugged off, but there's an interesting development in the United States right now. So this could cause a little bit of sell-off, could cause a little bit of FUD, or again, it might just be, I might be just making up a reason for a dump here. Matter of fact, when I do this, I'm going to put that right there, and then we're going to remove this line so that we know that there's a range right there that we're looking for to play out right there. Okay, so those are the ranges that we have. That's what I'm looking for as a breakout. Now let's get into the news. But before we do that, make sure that you sign up, become a member of the channel. If you want to become be a subscriber, but if you want to become a member, it's $4.99 a month. Helps me out. Doesn't provide you with any kind of crazy benefits. I give you some calls when I get them, when I get when I get projects that come out to me and stuff like that. Then I generally let you guys know, unless I'm not confident in the pump on it. So you might see me sometimes give you a call in that private chat, only available on YouTube. But again, I try to be selective about it. So I want you to make money. I don't want you to lose money. And a lot of people come to me for a project. They ask me, would you promote this project and, make a video about it? And I don't have a lot of faith that it's going to be a great project, but, they're a paying customer and I'm an advertiser. I'm doing advertisements. So when I give you that signal, that means I think that it's going to run. When I don't give you that signal, I shouldn't buy it, or you should be careful. Anyway, TerraCasino.io for all your risk-based gaming needs. Remember, college football's coming up in a couple of days. You can make a bunch of money here. If you put your username in my live streams, you could earn $50 immediately. Terraport.io for, or Terraport.finance, my bad. Terraport.finance for all your risk-based, I can't get this right for anything today. I am completely off the game, guys. For all of your meme coins and utility coins in the ecosystem. Okay. Now, why should you be bullish? Let's talk about that. First of all, this is David, Luna Lover 69, and Vegas. They are in Poland right now, in the heart of Poland, talking about Terra Luna Classic, about the Rebel Station Wallet, the IBC transfer, re-enabled and reconnected to Classic. Like, they are talking to people right now about how to build the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem. So they are in these symposiums right now, having discussions about Terra Luna Classic. That is great exposure overall. Doesn't mean that something brilliant or incredible is going to happen, but it does mean that we've got people out here talking about it. And it only takes one of these sort of moments here to reinvigorate and get a little bit more attention being paid to what's going on. And they are at ETH Warsaw, Ethereum in Poland. They're having an event. So shout out to the team, David, Vegas, and Luna Lover 69 for taking the time to try to educate people on the revival of Terra Luna Classic. This is how it starts. People stepping up and doing things instead of just sitting around complaining about it and voting no on things that we should be voting yes on. Also, this is Garuda X. If you guys have not seen it right now, this is not a live action show. This is just a demonstration. This is a sneak peek of the UI that they're using right here, where you can see the order book and you will know exactly what's pending and how the liquidity is being provisioned by people who are putting their asks and their bids in on any kind of trade that you're looking to make. And the example that we're using here is the Garuda to Lunk pairing. So, and remember, Luna Classic price rises, so does Garuda X price rise. So I would be watching for something to happen here for everything in this ecosystem very, very soon. Speaking of your tokens, Lenny Lunk still having a nice little run over the last 7 days, but everything else kind of dragged down or just sort of range bound. Remember, we showed you from the charts, not a lot of movement, just a little bit of a short range here. I think our Bollinger Band's probably getting very, very tight. I know I didn't check that and I didn't look at that for you, but I would say it's pretty safe to say that Bollinger Bands are starting to tighten up with trade volume. The validator wars continue. AutoStake has lost 1.17 billion, while All Nodes has gained 524 million. We might be seeing a switch back to the number one. Doesn't really matter ultimately, or it matters at best just a tiny, tiny bit. Lunk Live holding strong at the number 4 position. KuCoin getting some as well. You can look at the APR over here and you kind of tell who's going to get the big move, but you know, there's going to be some where you look at 6%, you look at some of these returns, you're going to be super exciting. And then, by the way, I do want to stress that you know, Strathcole, you know, we kind of joked about it the other day with AutoStake not being online very much. Well, guess what now? Their online time has increased a bit. So, you know, maybe we're better off. Maybe. Yeah, it's a little bit better off. I don't know. But Greenpeace has now moved up to the number 14 position. And I mean, you can just kind of see how this is playing out right now. So, but there's more coming in clearly than there is going out right now. Another good sign when we look at total staked, we're up to 963 billion. And remember, we were over $1 trillion at one point, but it's been a while since we've seen that. So we're climbing back up. It was down in the 800 billions not that long ago. People looking maybe to sell or change their position, whatever the case. We saw a lot of downward momentum, and guess what? Starting to reverse. We're building. That looks like to me momentum starting to build back up. So hopefully that will continue. No proposals up right now. Volume up to 11 million, a good sign. Again, not great, but good sign. But we're down on USTC. It doesn't really matter to me on this one because my risk on this one is I have about 3,000 USTC. I'm not sitting up. Remember, I told you guys before, I flipped it. I made a good amount by converting it back to Terra Luna Classic. So I was happy to increase my position, and that was enough for me. 143 million being burned over the last couple days. Not a big number. And by the way, it's going to be really bad. It's going to continue to be really bad today. We still need that trade volume to really start to pick up. Now, that does mean that the markets are not paying attention to Terra Luna Classic. We don't have the volume to contribute enough to the burns. So what we ask for at that point is people to voluntarily burn. And that really, for a lot of people, just doesn't make any redeemable sense, okay? We need to build. We need we need the market module. We need to start to create some vibrance in this ecosystem. Once we do a few of those little things, then the big things are going to start to fall into place. And that's very, very important, because that's how we create volume. That's how we create burns. That's how everything here happens, by people trading on chain. So it's great to see people like David and Vegas out here talking to people, grassroots, if you will, talking about the wonders of the Terra Luna Classic blockchain. And hopefully they will convince a few people, hey, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens on this chain. And if that happens, builders will come. If builders come, guess what? So will investors. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. And remember, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right.